It really is an unsustainable situation to have people who are convicted in other countries or accused by the NYPD of committing crimes and us not to be able to put them on the deportation process. People think, by the way, this is some extrajudicial process. People are simply going to go to the immigration court system and be adjudicated to be deported. That's all we're asking for. And I think Mayor Adams, if he can get this done, this could be a highlight of his first term in office.
Well, if you want to save some money, Department of Government Efficiency, now known as DOGE, has a couple ideas. Here it is. In 2023 alone, illegal immigration cost taxpayers $150.7 billion. Put this in context with other costs adjusted for inflation. World War I was $334 billion. Apollo space program, $257. Manhattan Project, $30 billion. Panama Canal, $15 billion. Hoover Dam, $1 billion. You know, Joe, it's kind of what people voted on. That's what this election was about in many ways for many people.
It is, and people are sick of it. You know, to give some more context, I mean, it's costing us about $5 to $6 billion a year here in New York City. That is more than the entire budget of the FDNY and the Department of Sanitation combined. So that should really give a sense of scale to anyone listening how much of an impact this is having on New Yorkers, not just those who are victims of crime, but people who have to pay taxes, businesses that have to pay taxes, people that have to get their property taxes increased every year. This is a real cost, and it's a significant cost. It's not something that's a drop in the bucket by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, they could withhold federal funds to major American cities if they don't cooperate, and that would be a stinger. Joe, keep watching it for us, okay? Thanks for coming back. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right, Joe Borelli here in New York. Thanks.
Wow, right? Look at that. That is a lot of money. Look at what was spent compared to what we spent money on previously to this illegal problem that Joe Biden has literally funneled. I mean, all of that money spent to take care of, to house, to feed, to clothe, to diaper, to formula, to Medicare, like all of these things. This is something that really is unthinkable. When you think, like, we have literally put the country into this position because I used to remember, like, if you're coming into a country, you should be able to sustain yourself, right? You should be able to have things set up before you even arrive. Like, you should have maybe a job lined up with an organization. They're bringing you over. They've set you up with housing, and, you know, you're not becoming something, you know, on the system itself. You're not becoming a leech, right? A leash on the system. So you're self-sustained pretty much. But that's not what's happening. These people are coming with nothing. Even if they have skills, you can't even really put them to work because they're here illegally. They don't respect the law. They don't respect the country. They don't respect us. And so therefore, they come here because why? Because the head of this country, Joe Biden, doesn't respect the country. Why would you expect illegals to respect the country when you, the leader, are saying, come on down, I'm not building walls, I'm building bridges. Come on down, we will take care of you, we will house you, we will give you everything that you need in order for you to maintain. Just come on down. Don't you worry, the taxpayer will pay for it. That's right. The taxpayer will pay for it. You and I, George, you'll pay for it. I will pay for it. Oh, look, it's the one-headed man. Hey, guy, welcome. Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see ya. What you say? So much human suffering is due to the morally superior left, right? That they are superiorly, they are superior on the left. At least that's what they think, and that's why, because the rules apply to them. No, the rules apply to us, but not to them, because they can, live their dreams, live their life behind their gated community like Nancy Pelosi and the rest of them, but they don't have to deal with the illegal sleeping on the New York's sidewalks, right? They don't have to deal with these people. They're in their fancy limousines just driving by. Oh, no, ma'am. Their tinted windows, they don't even look at that stuff, right? They don't even look at it. But you and I have to. You and I have to look at what's happening to our communities because of Joe Biden, because of their superiority, right? That's what's happening. And it's a disgrace. It really is a disgrace. And again, we're going to say we're moving in a new direction with the new Trump administration. And I'm really hoping that the Dodge, Elon, and Vivek, when they start when they put this thing together, the cuts and everything that they're going to be doing in the swamp and in DC, I'm really hoping that there's a model that's going to go down to these governors in these different states so that we can start to really cut the fat, not just at the federal, but also in these different states like New York City and what's happening there. Eric Adams seems to be getting on board. They're doing some things to get it done, but we need even my great governor here in Florida to do more. Ron DeSantis, you need to do more, right? You need to do more. Anyway, let's move on. We're going to take this now from the horse's mouth himself. This is Eric Adams at his press conference, talking to us in reference to some of these things. And some of the reporters tried to put him in a box. And Eric Adams say, "No, friend. I got comebacks." Here he is, Eric Adams. Can we call him the great mayor? Not yet. He's still a progressive. Not yet. He's still out there. But we're working on him, though.
The governor is the chief executive of the state of New York. And if she puts in place a ban that we are required to follow, we're going to do that. If she leaves it up to, like we've done in Albany before, a city of X number of people, they can make their determination, then we are not ready to make that decision yet because we need to get it right. And others tried and others failed. Now, we have a history of trying and succeeding, like Willis Point, like Brooklyn Army Terminal. We've been able to land all these planes. I will ask the governor, let me do it so it's right. And then the other state can follow me because we're going to get it right. We're not going to do it and then have to go backwards. So I would, in my conversation with the governor, she hasn't mentioned that to me, I would share with the governor, give me an opportunity to get it right, and then the rest of the state can follow what I'm doing because, trust me, we won't go backwards when we get it right.
Our second question, I know on Liz's question, you seem to say that you are going to be open to deporting asylum seekers who've been charged with a crime, but you want to talk with the border czar. I just want to make sure that we got that right. And then in regards to meeting with the border czar, has Homan responded to your request for a meeting, and is there one on the books?
This wasn't new. I've always stated I wanted to address those who commit crimes. That's always been
charged. You're open to
I'm open to having a conversation on how you will implement that. You got a guy, he's on camera shooting a police officer. I don't want that guy in my city. Plain and simple. You got a guy that rapes one young lady, gets out, and go rape another person. I don't want them in the city.
No. Did Homan respond to your request?
Yes, he did. And actually, I think he was on one of my favorite stations, Fox. Talking about that he's looking forward something about that I reached out and that he's looking forward to me this week or next week. So and we communicated this morning, and he stated that once he settles here, we reach out and we'll coordinate. Our teams will coordinate for the most part.
Dana, thank you. Hi, Mr. Mayor.
How are you?
All right. Two questions on the immigration deportation front.
Yes.
First, So in your view, someone is a criminal if they have been charged with a crime? Because you yourself have been charged with crimes, right? But, you know, so that's one question. The other is if you were a law-abiding asylum seeker in New York City, you know, someone who's doing the best they can to get ahead,
Yes.
all of that, sending their kids to school, would you be scared about the prospect of the incoming administration?
Okay, two things. Your first part, I'm an American. Americans have certain rights. You know, the Constitution is for Americans. And I'm not a person that snuck into this country. My ancestors have been here for a long time. And I don't know if that's your blouse is made of cotton, but they used to pick some of that. So what rights I have, the person that decides to shoot a police officer, they should not have those same rights. Okay, that's my position. And I look forward to hearing what is the idea of the borders are. I'm looking forward to that. I've said it over and over again. We need to fix the immigration problem in the city. The American people said that. I don't know if you really watched the election results. The president-elect had the popular vote, had the electoral vote. He was not indecisive on what his positions were. He was clear we need to secure our border and deal with the immigration issue. The American people heard it. They voted for it. I've said it before, over and over and over again. It didn't matter who was the president for me. I said the same thing. New York City should not be going through this. Chicago should not be going through this. Denver should not be going through this. The American people should not be going through this. And the migrants and asylum seekers should not be going through this. We're placing them in a position that is unfair and is inhumane. I cannot make it any clearer.
And on the second question.
Ooh, hold on. Let me take a breather right there. That is what I call giving them the hammer. Did you see? Yo, Eric Adams is what I'm going to be calling saying based right now, because he just literally said to them, look, I have certain rights. Illegals, you can't compare the two of us. I'm an American. Okay? I have rights here in this country. The illegal and I don't have the same rights. So you can't compare that. He says, my family, my people have been here for generations. That shirt you're wearing, friend, made from cotton. My people used to pick cotton. So you need to go into your place, because this is not an argument you want to have with me. Wow. Wow. I kind of like that. That was like base Eric. Like, yeah, Mr. Mayor, like, for real. You got that. You got that. I had to just throw that in there before I forgot.
And you are a law-abiding migrant in New York City who is sending her kids to school and doing what they can to, you know, create a better future for themselves. Would you be scared right now about the incoming administration?
I think they should do what we told them to do over and over again. If you need police services because you're a victim of a crime, call the police. If you need health care here in this city, go to the hospital and get the medical attention you need. If you have a child, place that child in school so that child could be educated. Our city services are open to all people who are in this city. That is what we do. That is what the law requires us to do under the current law. And I believe we need to modify our existing law, as I stated, but they should not be afraid in this city. We're going to, that's the purpose of sitting down, and I want to share my ideas with the incoming board of czar so I can hear his ideas. We don't know. All of us are speculating right now. This city is a city and nation of immigrants, as was pointed out earlier during COVID. They were in our streets. They were doing our job. They built our bridges. They've done all the things we needed in this city. And this is a sanctuary city. There's no getting away from that. And there are laws that are in place. And we're telling those law-abiding individuals that you just mentioned to use the city services that the law allows you to do. The governor.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Mayor Eric Adams laying down the law. And something he says there and referring to the sanctuary cities. So, yeah, he is on board with changing that. He does not want that. I don't know what needs to be done in order for cities to remove that status. I mean, him as mayor, I guess the commissioners have to come together. I don't know how that would work in order to remove your status as a sanctuary city. And, Eric Adams has a big problem with that. He has mentioned that many times that these laws need to be relooked at. These laws need to be redone. And so again, Eric Adams is literally playing ball with the Trump administration hasn't even gotten in yet, and he is really singing a different tone. Some say he's maybe looking for a pardon. I don't know. Maybe Joe Biden should pardon him, right? You think Joe Biden might pardon him? I don't think so.